Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian. Welcome back to Crusader Kings 3, Roads to Power. So the first thing we're going to do in today's episode is we're going to go ahead and fill this empty slot. So I talked about getting the Proving Grounds, and I really want to get this now so we can get the 5% reduction in the men-at-arms recruitment costs. You know, any way that we could save some money. In addition, this makes our knights and our men-at-arms much better at combat. So that's another reason to try and get that early on. We're going to do this hired muscle contract, though we should probably take a look and see if our camp followers are still sick. Seems at least one of them still is. And that does reduce her prowess. So it might have a bit of effect on this mission, but the rest of our followers, no, they're healed up. So we're going to go ahead and start it. This will get us up to 83 gold, as well as some additional provisions. And then after that, we could do one of these mercenary contracts, despite the fact that we only have 100 dudes. Remember, those are men-at-arms, and so they're going to be much better than some of the armies we're going to be facing, which are made up mostly of levies. Alright, so we're going to continue with the balanced range of contributions here. Let's go and pause this and get all of our characters assigned. I think we'll have it look like this. That means we have 13-day phases, although that might not be accurate because I think a few days did pass. It's 20-day phases. Because that wouldn't make any sense with us having the one sick follower and we actually have one less follower than we usually do. So she's no longer sick. Now we're at 81%. Hopefully that's good enough, guys, and it was. Alright, excellent. So just getting these missions completed. Let's go ahead and do our first mercenary contract. This is one that we should be able to easily help out in. Our troops will have, or our side will have more numbers. So this army is 1124. Here's the allied army. Can we defeat these guys on our own? Probably not. Unless we had like some really good bonuses. You know what? This is what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and raise up our troops because we can only raise them up here where our camp is located. That's one of the weak parts of being an adventurer. So if your camp is really far from the war, you might want to move it first because it'll take you a long time to get those troops over there. But you also don't have to pay for your troops either. So there is that. So it's only going to take 1 day to raise these up. So he's attacking right here. If we were to go there, it says that we'd probably win because they have more soldiers. They also have the men-at-arms counter. But remember, Magnus is really, really skilled. He's got that 41 advantage. He's also a flexible leader and an aggressive attacker. We'll get the defensive building bonus here too. I don't know, it's a little bit risky. And remember that any troops we lose, we have to replace those either using our provisions or our gold. I prefer to see if they attack us here. We'll be in the forest, so we'll also get the defensive bonus. That might have been the same amount that we'd get in this location from those defensive buildings. We've got an event here, Ruin Rambling. Scouting out ahead of the camp, I come across a ramshackle collection of traders. They are gathered around some large but old ruined buildings. The remaining ones in good condition have been occupied by the merchants. Their wares are fairly standard, food mostly, being on a well-traveled road that would no doubt attract many purchasers. Yet my eye is drawn inexorably towards the gray, hawk-marked walls of the ruins. So magnificent they are. The merchants occupy merely the outskirts, but its dilapidated heart remains untouched. So we can search the ruins, we'll lose some of the stress because we're brave, and then we have a 25% chance we'll discover a dusty weapon, 44% chance we get a trinket, or we could just get the provisions. Let's go with this option. We could always use the reduced stress, and maybe we'll get something good. Okay, we got a trinket. It's not going to help a lot, but we're going to put it in place. Eventually we're going to want to get rid of this, though it's not an option right now because we don't have an armor, but we could sell it in one of the towns, or the tribal holdings. So yeah, I want to eventually do that. Yeah, I'm tempted to just do this attack, because otherwise we should go do a siege of perhaps their capital. The problem is we have so few troops that, yeah, we wouldn't be able to do that. The only thing we could really do is assist them in their siege, which still gives you a lot of points. Maybe that's what we should do. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go do that. Let's do the safer route. If we had just 100 more dudes, then I'd feel confident doing this attack. I mean, we'd probably still win, but we could lose some of our champions. They could die. We don't have very many. And we'll probably take higher losses than necessary, which means we gotta replace those with those provisions. And so it's probably safer to just do the siege. And you get a lot of points for doing the sieges as well. It almost feels like you get more points doing sieges than you do from doing the battles. So you'll see that this is now going to start ticking up. Once we let it play, of course. We'll see that we'll start getting points from helping out with the siege. We did just get a level of devotion. All right, excellent. I wonder if they adjusted this in one of the recent patches. Because you used to get a lot more points. I mean, we're not getting any points. Just for standing there and helping out, you'd get a lot of points. Kind of made it easy to get the war contribution, so maybe they changed that. So we have two different options here. This would allow us to get provisions when we finish a siege. This one here increases our provision capacity while doubles the effect of siege replenishment. So when you finish a siege, you get some replacements for your men-at-arms. So that will double that effect. So we'll go to get that one first. Maybe they made it so you have to actually finish the siege to get the points rather than just tick up from helping. Because again, it was kind of like easy to get the points before. So I'm assuming they made an adjustment there. That's what it seems like. So now we'll have to actually finish it. I realized we had that pause there. And we've just been warned. You and your ilk have outstayed your welcome. Alright, so they do not want us there anymore. They may attempt to imprison us. Well, we can't move our camp yet. And unfortunately, we just got the bloody flux. Wow. I think it's because of where we're located. We see a little notification that there's a plague here. So that's unfortunate. We can search for a possible physician. We need one anyways. So let's see what options might pop up here. And we could always use another follower. So we have three choices. Irina would be the best option. She has the physician trait. Her learning's a little bit lower than Isabella's, but the learning's not as important as the physician trait is. She's also a little bit better when it comes to her skills because we could use her, for other types of contracts. Obviously, this is our cheap option. He's just a handsome guy who could take the job but wouldn't do it very well. Or we could have Isabella do it, where you can see that her aptitude would be poor, and she has the wise woman trait, and her learning is higher. But again, she has that poor aptitude, but you're going to save a lot of money with her as well. But I think our better option is to go with an experienced doctor. So we're going to pay her the 50 gold. Also, we might want to invest in something here with our money. But first, let's go with do no more than what is necessary. We don't want her to try and throw a hornet's nest at us, or remove an arm, or smear poop all over us or something. So we did get excellent work here, reduced disease symptoms, so that's good. Very unfortunate that our character got sick here, though. That siege is almost done. I wonder if he'll come and attack this army next. If we were going after his capital, then maybe, but I don't know. Let's see what happens here. He still outnumbers us, so he might try and attack us, but I think the AI will see that they'll lose that battle. So we got an event here, unfamiliar rations. The culture here is unfamiliar to me, and some of their customs are equally alien. This is proven especially true when Irina, acting as our cook for the evening, beckons me over to look at the stewing pot. It's a local recipe, supposedly authentic. I look at the substance with suspicion. Is that stewed ermine with carrots? So we can blend it with some herbs from the Norse cuisine. We don't have the trait. We need one of these three traits to do that. Could just give it a try. 48% chance we'll gain some provisions and get this really nice modifier which increases our prowess, new taste. And Irina will be pleased with us, but there's a 51% chance that we don't like it and we gain stress. Or you say, what is this muck? And we might gain the nickname narrow-minded. We'll give it a try. We're a big guy. We like to eat. We already know it's going to be bad, but because we always get the worst result. All right, so he's finished with the siege. So let's see if he attacks. He does not. Okay, so he's going to go do another siege. Okay, so let me see if we got... Okay, we got credit now. That's interesting. They changed that up. So as I was saying before, you got it just from sitting on the siege location. And he imprisoned us, which doesn't make any sense because we're leading our army. Damn it. Alright, so that's really unfortunate that we got arrested while leading our army. I thought we'd be safe, but nope, that is not the case. And now we have a much worse general in charge. And who knows what he's going to demand or do to us while we're in prison. So things are just going really, really poorly, guys. Of course they are. But yeah, we weren't able to do anything. But it looks like we did lose the bloody flux, so I guess there's that. Maybe that's what we needed, a little bit of time in prison. So I was going to go and attack over here, but without our general, we just don't have a chance of winning, so we'll just go and help out with the siege again. Yeah, this Let's Play has kind of been a disaster. We could try and escape from prison here. I highly doubt it'll work out for us, and we also can't leave his place, so he might just arrest us again. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense if you're leading an army how he arrests you. We're not even in his lands. But it is what it is. It uses the normal mechanics, you know, for arresting a vassal. Doesn't he, like, owe us? Well, it says that we completed a contract for him, but we also messed one up. So I don't recall what exactly happened there. We did 2 contracts and failed one and succeeded at one. I remember we failed at one over here, and I guess that was his. And we also succeeded one, but I don't recall it being the same guy, but maybe it was. Either way, there's not much we can do at the moment. You should be able to ask him to release you, since he's a patron. Now we can always ransom ourselves. He would not do it for a hook, but he would do it for the 100 gold, which is really unfortunate. I almost want to try and escape, but again, there's no point on doing anything until we finish up with this mercenary contract, since we can't even leave his realm, so technically he could just arrest us again. An extra hand. In the course of helping me administer my camp as my right-hand man, Svartrbjörn and I have discovered that we have a lot in common. We have built up a strong rapport during our time working together as a result of this, and I find myself wondering what the future will hold for us. So we can become friends, or just keep the relationship professional. As I said, I feel like our character, despite being, you know, sadistic, would still have friendships. He's not antisocial. We need friends to enjoy the suffering we cause together. So yeah, he's gonna be our friend. So yeah, we'll have to just continue helping out with somebody else in charge of our army here until after. But yeah, we're probably gonna lose this conflict. Yeah, we just won't be able to escape until we can move our camp. Now we can help him do these sieges, which I don't know why he's not doing that location next. Yeah, helping out with these sieges will continue to get us the contribution so that we can get paid at least. So there's that, but it looks like he will lose this conflict. And I hate how the AI does this, which is why I should have just did the battle, because I figured they were going to do this. They just each siege territory rather than attack each other. And so the war score just kind of flip-flops. So yeah, I really should have just did the battle and got his army defeated. We got an event here, Lonely Days. To spend my time separated from all the ones I love is a cruel punishment. I find myself seeking out any source of comfort and companionship I can find, but they are few. So this is going to result in us getting stressed because we're locked up. You know what, guys? I think we just need to go ahead and escape from prison, or at least try this. If we fail, Ludwig would be displeased with us, but we could always try and pay the ransom. And you know what? We got a good chance to escape with that prowess skill that we have, so let's try it out. And we did succeed. We got freedom. Now, he can just arrest us again because our camp is still in his, in his territory. Well, that's interesting. We can now move. Are we still in this contract? I feel like... Let's take a look, guys. We are not. Oh, wow. So when I got locked up, I think that canceled the contract. Well, we didn't get an opinion penalty for failing the contract, so at least there's that. But yeah, we're basically not going to get paid, guys. So all of this is for nothing. Alright, very unfortunate. This seems to be kind of like an issue with the contract system, I guess. If you get arrested, it's just kind of a shame. So we'll want to disband our troops, and we'll want to move our camp as well. So let's get this guy out of here. We're still in the war, by the way, guys. And we got an event here about deserters. I'm leading a patrol when we spot a group of figures emerging from the darkness of night. Hooded cloaks obscuring their faces, but one's ungainly gait I recognize as Svartrbjörn. My friends, my lord, whispers one of my men. They are deserting. What should we do? So we can apprehend them immediately. I can't see him deserting, right? A 94% chance that we catch the deserters. 5% chance that we'll get wounded. This is a martial challenge against him. Or we could just say that we let them go. We'd get a weak hook on him for sparing his life. Also increase opinion. But obviously our character would not want to do that. And I guess we'll apprehend him. Maybe he wasn't deserting, but why would he desert? That's weird. I guess we'll find out what happens there. Let me just take a look. So we stopped them, but nothing happened? Huh. That's kind of weird. Maybe you just gotta have another follow-up event. I'm not entirely sure. But let's go and disband our army here. And then move our camp elsewhere so we don't have to worry about this guy potentially arresting us again. And I suppose we'll go further south. Yeah, let's move down. Move right here. That's going to cost us a bit more in our provisions. Okay, we did get a follow-up event. After a short scuffle, the deserting soldiers are apprehended. Every soldier present, both loyal and not, know that punishment for this kind of betrayal can be harsh. The air is thick with anticipation and fear. My lord, Svartrbjörn, meets my gaze with tired eyes. They are only children. We just want to go home. I'm just shocked that he would do this. He just doesn't seem like the type. And that's a real shame. I guess he is a dishonorable zealot here, but yeah, that's a real shame that we're going to end up losing him because the price for betrayal must be paid, and we'll have to execute them all. We could go for this one as well. That's because we have the sadistic trait. It's not as good though. Both of these result in Svartrbjörn being killed. This one here you don't get as much dread, but you get the martial lifestyle perk compared to just the 50 experience. So this one's clearly better. Now it does have a penalty here of -2 advantage for 5 years, but that's not that big of a deal. So I think we're gonna go with that option, guys. I think it's just the better choice. So we did lose our right-hand man. Not that the control was actually assisting us there, but most importantly, we lose one of the few followers that we have. So kind of a big deal. Very unfortunate. So we have an event here about a flawed fare. Author is in charge of our food supplies, which somebody did tell me in the comments that that symbol there makes the TH sound. I was thinking maybe that was the case, but I wasn't sure. But she sheepishly reveals that our provisions are now all but useless, having been poorly stored. Patches of mold cover the bread and the produce. We have quickly used up our remaining dried food. The party goes hungry as dusk begins to fall. Kind of strange considering the fact this involves just 200 provisions, maybe 400 at most, and we have 2461. So again, you know, paradox event, and this is not just in CK, it's in all their games, that doesn't really reflect the actual situation that's in your country, or in this case in our camp. But we could say it's just mold, 10% chance that we gain the trait ill, which means we probably will, because the way things have been going with the randomness in this campaign, yeah, we would probably become ill. We could instead say nature will provide for us. This is a learning challenge. 95% chance that nothing happens. That means we also don't lose the provisions though. 2% chance that we become ill and we lose 400 provisions, so twice what we lose here. And there's a 2% chance that we die. Or we can say the locals around here must have something. Still lose the 200 provisions. That's weird. Okay, yeah, you still lose the 200 provisions and you lose prestige. So is it like all of our food is bad and you just lose this 200 because that's like the stuff you can't recover? So all the food we have is bad? Maybe that's what they're indicating. And that's why, you know, here you're not actually gaining provisions. Okay, let's go with this. It's a 4% chance of something bad happening. I mean, you would think, right? Okay, I was gonna say, guys, that would be ridiculous. Alright, so we're back on the move. And apparently there's another event about the deserters. So deserters are due a single mercy, one granted by Executioner's Blade. Being faced with the need to make harsh decisions has made me come to understand some of the burdens of command in a more intimate way. So this actually gained us that martial lifestyle perk, and he was executed. So yeah, that was just the effects of the choice that we had selected there. Next thing we're going to get is the Enduring Hardships. This reduces our provision use and also gives you some really nice bonuses for battle. Defender advantage +10, so that more than makes up for the -2 we just took. And also reduced friendly fatal casualties. So very helpful there. Milidutch the Wolf Boy. So this is an event that seems to always happen for your adventures. And both of my other 2 playthroughs, I got this event. Basically you find this boy here. He gets the nickname Son of Wolves. We'll actually go ahead and read this. As we travel through the wildlands of Lindo, I find myself with the distinct feeling of being watched. Hiding, though poorly, I see a frail, dirty boy watching our entourage. A member of our caravan informs me that the locals say these lands are haunted by someone they called Milledutch. I don't know if that's Milledutch or Milleduck. We're going to call him Milledutch, although I do like the idea of calling him Duck as a nickname, who is said to have been raised far away from human society by a wolf. Apparently, the poor creature has taken a fascination with us and has even started to speak some basic Norse, though not to any meaningful proficiency. So we have 3 options here. This is the boy. He's a Dole, which the other times I got this event, I think he was even worse. I think he had the lower level, stupid trait. So he was really bad. But you'll notice that he also is malnourished, giving him a health penalty here. He's also feral. This character was raised in the wild, far from human civilization. So that gives some huge penalties to diplomacy, stewardship, and learning, but it increases his prowess considerably. It does have a severe health penalty, and it results in some natural dread. So his prowess is pretty good, even though he's a 6-year-old boy. And he's also non-verbal, so he can't learn languages, or they're at least really, really slow. He'll have lower general opinion, and he also gains stress a bit quicker. So it's an interesting situation here. So we could train him, and he'll become our ward. We could just ignore him. We'll be stalked for 2 years, which will increase our stress gain. Or we can chase him back to his wolf friends. This is a prowess challenge, which we would likely succeed, but there's a third of a chance we'll get wounded here. And we'll lose some stress because we're sadistic and wrathful. And if we succeed, we get a little bit of dread. You could certainly make the argument that this is what Magnus would do as a sadistic character. However, I think he would also be willing to train the boy to see what kind of little monster he can make him. I mean, like, he's already feral, so we might be able to make him into a great warrior. You can also adopt him as your son, although I don't know that we'd want to do that with this character trait, but it is an option once he comes of age. But at the very least, I think Magnus would find this entertaining. There is a position, an officer position, though I guess it's not really an officer, of Stooge. Unlock special options events, and you can humiliate the Stooge with this decision. I think it reduces stress. So at the very least, we could do that. So I think we will take the boy in. Could be interesting to see what happens. Alright, so our camp has been moved. We have a criminal contract to mug wealthy citizens nearby here. Before we do that, though, let's go into the town and just see if we can find somebody to recruit or just other opportunities available. We could also sell that one artifact that we have. We get 15 gold. We could try and get a bit more. It's a stewardship challenge, though, that we'd probably fail unless we get less gold and gain stress. So I think it's just better to go with this option here and go ahead and sell that just to get a little extra money. We could see if there's any other contracts here. Looks like there's nobody that we can recruit. We could pay for some provisions. We could do this martial challenge where we have a 64% chance of intimidating him and getting the provisions without having to pay. And if we fail, the provision cost will just be increased for 3 months unless you get this 4% one where the guards are summoned. I think it's worth doing. Fits our character. And we got some free provisions. So let's see what contracts might be available. I guess we'll ask for more martial contracts. Let's go to the local tavern. Hear that story. This is a diplomacy bonus. So we just got the 3-month increase. Still helpful. And then, yeah, we could also see if they have anybody decent to recruit, because we really need to increase our number of followers and get somebody, hopefully, a bit impressive. This character has high learning. This character's got good stewardship and good intrigue. Probably the best option. He's a schemer, a wise man, but he's really old as well. And kind of expensive, given the fact that he's not going to be serving us for very long at that age. This character is much younger with the high intrigue. He's an elusive shadow. Not really good at anything else. Diplomacy is okay. And he's going to be cheaper, so we're going to go ahead and hire him. We need more high intrigue characters. Alright, so I think we got some good things done here today. So let's go back to camp. Did we get the proving grounds constructed? We did. Okay, so what I want to do is go ahead and increase this to the next level for 120. So we get the men-at-arms recruitment cost reduced there. That'll be 5% cheaper. And thus we could then spend our next batch of money, which we'll probably get from doing this hired muscle contract. Kind of sucks we're doing the same ones over and over again. We could do this one for a change of pace. It's a prowess scheme rather than an intrigue one. So yeah, let's go and accept this. You get 10 experience points and a marauder. And it's nearby as well. Just to do something a little bit different. Some back alley robbery. The notices that the chieftain Wallington had hung hold truer than expected. Berlin seems to be experiencing a barrage of petty crime. Even just making our way into the city, we were able to count a dozen pickpocketings and one outright mugging. Far too much work for the beleaguered households of the chieftain to deal with. An absolutely perfect environment for enterprising mercenaries like ourselves to make a little coin. So we're going to go with the balanced route again. Let's see where we want to get everybody appointed. So clearly a key is going to be here. It's unfortunate we lost that one character, so we just don't have as good of a prowess bonuses. But this guy could do well here as an outcast. So now we'll put him in place. That gets us up to 76%. So now we need to decrease the phase length and hopefully increase the secrecy. Don't have a lot of good options here. So Irina would be good as a lookout. So that increases the secrecy up to 56%. And Alder would be good as a footpad, decreasing the phase to 38 days. And then she'll reduce it a bit further. 33 days. Still pretty long phases, unfortunately. I always do that. I mean to click that X. I don't know if I've showed this yet, but you now have the countermeasure focuses. So this gives you some additional options for dealing with schemes going against you. They all have penalties though. But that was that one decision as well, to where you're hiding. I think that's been removed from the game. Instead you do it through there. Alright guys, so by the time we finish these phases, we'll be at the 76% when we get those 5 advantages. Ugh, my head, moans Bothilder as she rides alongside me. I raise an eyebrow in silent inquiry at the woman's explanation. In response, she simply slumps down across her horse, whimpering and clutching at her temples. Clearly someone had a good night last night, so she's hungover. And so she'll get this penalty here to her health and increase her stress gain. So we can slow down for her. As a sadistic character, you probably wouldn't want to do that and make her grateful. You can laugh at her predicament. We would lose a lot of stress if we did this. She'd be annoyed. We can kick our horse into gear and she'd get angry, but all the adult followers would see us as the life of the party and we get opinion increase with them. And we'd lose a lot of stress. Yeah, that would be all of our stress, guys. Or we can trot on, leaving her to her misery. Yeah, we're going to do this one. So that'll reduce all of our stress, which is great because we were actually quite stressed out. So we have an event here with that back alley robbery. As afternoon trickles into evening, I stifle a yawn. Crime may pay well, but so much of it involves simply waiting. Although, hold on now. This man looks promising. I recognize him as a local magnate of some small wealth and perfectly suitable quarry, if perhaps not the richest on offer. With masks shrouding most of their faces, leaving only their eyes visible, my agents look to me for the signal to begin. So we say, nice out, let's do this quiet but clear. This is a prowess challenge with a 93% chance that we intimidate him and we'll get the 50 gold. This is also a crime, so we could be imprisoned. There's the intrigue challenge, shadow him and cut his purse quietly. 78% chance of success. Instead, put it in the hands of one of our followers here, 81% chance of success. Or just let him pass. No, we're going to do the prowess challenge, of course. Just intimidate him, which we were successful at and got a bit of money there. Alright, so he's now holding a grudge against us. As you can see here. He's upset that we robbed him, which is understandable. And our scheme was discovered. Of course it was. So now we have a breach against it. But you can see that the chance is still high. So it's not just straight up failing. We have to get the 5 breaches. Well, it seems the scheme was breached again. And one of our agents was removed. I'm not entirely sure why. Yeah, not sure what happened there. So we had the 5 advantages. Let's go and see if we can't complete it, and we failed. 76% chance of success. And we failed. Good grief, guys. This is ridiculous. Yeah, guys. Well, that's a Let's Play. It's really comical, man. It's crazy, like, how bad everything has been going in this Let's Play. We can't seem to succeed at these contracts at all. Just the RNG gods absolutely hate us. They do not want us to succeed in anything. Again, I've never experienced this before. It's only on camera this kind of stuff happens, guys. I don't know if we want to stay in this location. We should be okay, hopefully. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move over to here. Yeah, real shame we failed at that. We do have this hook on this guy that we could make use of. Make a request. Can't get any gold. Could get additional provisions. We don't really need those. Although we can't because he's too far away. Okay. I just saw that it was expiring. I thought maybe we could do it, but yeah, we're not close enough. That does matter, the distance. If they're too far, then you can't make use of it. All right, so let's go ahead and work on this hired muscle event, or contract, I should say, and hopefully it goes better, guys. Thus far, we have had extreme difficulty completing these contracts, and they've been taking a long time as well. And nobody's gonna be good at this job, so we'll just put the best person here. And then she can do this to increase it by 1%. So that gets us up to 84%, guys. And how many days between each phase is 17 days, probably 18, I think is what it actually is. So about standard for us. In my other playthroughs, I was getting it down to like 8 days, 10 days, 12. Much faster than our lowest number here. But yeah, we did lose this battle, or he lost the battle. We didn't really help any further. But you see, we didn't get anything despite the fact that we had made well beyond the 100% contributions that we needed to do. All right, so let's go and execute this scheme. 84% chance of success, so we should fail. Oh, look at that, we succeeded. How surprising. I thought surely a 16% chance of failure meant there's no way we were going to complete that. We did finally increase our fame, so we're now distinguished. So that gives you some additional bonuses here, while also increasing opinion. So you can now purchase land, you can do an invasion, and then we have this hire as mercenaries county reward. That just overall makes it better for us. So since our caravan master is lost due to the language barrier here, so we can try. It's a diplomacy and learning challenge, so better chance of success than I thought. But more than likely we'll probably be delayed because 43% chance, of course, we failed. Couldn't have gone any other way there, guys. Alright, so empty crates. I gaze down sadly at my meal. A barely ripe apple stands out as the most appealing of the fare. There is no shortage of food at camp, but the variety is lacking. I think we got this event already. I feel like we did, but this is also an event that happens all the time. Basically, we say no poaching without permission. This is a diplomacy challenge against the local chieftain. It's a 4% chance that he will allow us, and then we get the 400 provisions. We don't actually need provisions. We're at our max right now. At least the event kind of notes that there's no shortage of food. It's just the variety that's the issue. 60% chance we'll have to pay him. I don't really want to pay for provisions we don't need. We say go fast, go silently. Yeah, there's a good chance that we're going to fail on this and still have to pay. Yeah, I mean, we just don't need. Yeah. I don't want to pay him, but 10 gold seems like a better option than the 33% chance we're going to get. And increase stress and decrease everybody's opinion. It's probably just better to go with this option. Hope we don't get caught. Alright, so we did get caught. We had to pay the fine. So I'm going to continue to wait to get the men-at-arms increased because we're about to get the prepared conscription. This is a men-at-arms recruitment cost reduction of 20%, so quite significant. There's another one on this side. So once you get down here, you can get men-at-arms for much cheaper. So I think it's best to wait because it's not going to be that much longer. And so we'll just do a mission in the meantime. We might have to move. Well, there's a hired muscle one we could travel over to, but we might still move our camp anyways. But first, let's go ahead and make use of our request. So if we did this one, because we're at our max revisions, we'd get the 20 gold, or we could just get 26 gold. So that's what we're going to do. And then we can also make a request of this chieftain. We'd have to do the provisions to get the gold because he doesn't have enough to share. So to just get ourselves a little bit more money for when we're going to be building up the men-at-arms once we get this perk here. Alright, so let's go ahead and move down to this one, though I think I am going to go ahead and move the camp first. Not even that far. Could move all the way over there, though, so that we're in the location. Yeah, if we're moving the camp, might as well. So that'll cost us 205 provisions, and that way we don't have to travel again. We did get another event here about Milledutch, longing for the wild. He's been a real challenge to mentor, that much is certain. He's scarcely able to string a sentence together, and still prowls around like a beast. Life indoors seems to cause him a great deal of stress, and when he does decide to speak, he speaks almost exclusively of returning to the wilderness. I watch as he stands uncomfortably on two legs and motions to leave, and somehow I know that this time, he's leaving for good. So we can say, wait, just give me one more chance, a learning challenge, or just let him return to nature. I didn't want him to leave, but I don't want to get all that stress, so if you want to go, you can go. So unfortunately, we lost him. I've never had that happen before. Normally, he sticks with my character. Alright, so we've moved our camp. Let's go ahead and do this contract since it's right in the area, so don't even have to travel to do it. See if there's anything here to be aware of. There's not. We could also first visit the location, I guess. Yeah, why not? We'll go ahead and do that. Visit the tribal holding again. Hear the song. It's an intrigue one. Alright, so that would actually be useful. And we got 100 intrigue lifestyle experience. Okay, so you'd have to get a lot more experience before you could actually get a perk for that. We could look to see if there's anybody to recruit. We're always needing more people. This woman here is a wise woman with good learning, but not much else. Nicolot he's club-footed, and he's very good at stewardship. Diplomacy's pretty decent too. He's not bad. And then this character here's got good prowess. His is low. So yeah, he could serve as a knight, which we do need more champions. And prowess is pretty helpful for a lot of the contracts we're doing. So I think he'd probably be the better option. He's also really young compared to these two older folks here. So 34 gold, I think is worth it. So go ahead and hire him. Just trying to increase the number of followers we have to make these missions a little bit easier for us to do. A little bit faster as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and attempt to do this hired muscle one again. And we'll be placing him in his usual position as the muscle for the mission. We're going to place Other as the footpad. I just want to decrease the phase time as much as possible. Get it down to 14 days. And then we have this guy as well. And he can do either one of these two positions, which would be best to put him into this one, since he's better at this one here. So as soon as I press play, we got this offer to be hired as a mercenary. So he wants us to join his war. He'll pay us 25 gold just to join. Oh, he's got a lot of territory. Who's he fighting? It looks like he doesn't even need us. Oh, well, the numbers are pretty close actually. Yeah, you know what, guys? I kind of want to assist in this. I know we're currently on a mission. Yeah, I kind of want to accept it. Now we can decline and try and get more money out of him. That would be an option as well. I mean, I guess we only have 100 dudes though. Yeah, I suppose we'll decline it. Unless he's willing to offer like a lot more. You can try and get territory out of him. You try and get an official alliance. Force him to become your patron, because he doesn't become your patron otherwise. Because it's not like a normal mission. Try and get provisions out of him, or just say you don't want to join. I don't think we're going to join this one, guys. We need to get our army size up. And again, I'm waiting until we get this perk, so let's finish this mission. This will also probably cancel it. Not sure what would happen for a mercenary mission if it would impede on this. But you know, we got all our people working on that. So let's just is this the other side, or is this a different conflict? This is a different conflict. This is in Italy. So again, we're gonna have to climb, but everybody wants us to work for them. Just kind of sucks we're getting hit with the opinion decreases, because we have to reject them. Let's go ahead and get this scheme executed. And we actually succeeded. Again, I'm just now like always expecting to fail in these schemes here. Now, before we make this request, we should probably leave his territory. It might upset him a little bit. So yeah, we'll wait to make the request of him. Let's do this next contract. Another martial one, the hired muscle mission that we continue to do. So we'll travel over there as we just wait for this next perk. And just trying to earn as much money as we can, so we'll have that for increasing the men-at-arms up as high as we're able to. In fact, we might end up investing in something here in our camp. So we have our 5 advantages. 85% chance of success. We got 85 more gold. Alright, excellent. So once we get back, we'll probably move our camp again. We're just going to move over to here for now. I'm really just trying to get out of this area so we can make that demand from him without potentially getting ourselves arrested if he gets irritated like that one guy did. So we're going to event here a lowly delicacy. I think we've seen this one before. I don't think this is a new one. This is just a travel event. Yeah, it's about the bowl of stew. 60% chance we'll lose stress and get the good meal modifier. 30% chance that it makes us sick. Well, 10% chance you actually get ill. You know what? We're not gonna spend the prestige here. We'll just do this one. Increase opinion with Irina. Yeah, that's a frequent travel event. Seen many times before. Let's go ahead and make these requests now. We got a bunch of them. I think we already made a request of them, but our character doesn't care. Now, I did want to make one note about this option here, the asking for a men-at-arms regiment. A couple people pointed out that there is another reason to do this, and that's the fact that you might get a unit that you actually want, or a unit that you couldn't recruit otherwise. So like a culture-specific unit that your culture could not recruit, and that's true. So there is some advantage to using this, and if you get a unit you don't want, you can just disband it. However, I always think about the opportunity cost, like what you're not getting, you know, the gold or provisions or whatever you might get instead. And you're basically doing a random action. You don't know what you're going to get. And whenever it comes to randomness, I'm always hesitant because I have such bad luck. And so I never expect to get what I want. I assume I'll just get a terrible unit. And then I give up the chance to get something better. But obviously there are some benefits there. So maybe you might want to sometimes do it. If you have an open men-at-arms slot, that is. I guess we'll take the provisions and the gold here. Same thing with this character, just get the 20 gold. We don't have to do all these, and we're pissing everybody off by doing so, but it fits our character. Well, he did not accept giving us the gold because of us asking him recently for one. So we'll just do that one again. And all these people are going to hate us now. We'll be able to travel through any of their territory without them trying to arrest us. But we're trying to make it so we're not in situations like this where the hooks expire and stuff. In those cases, those are all people I had already asked once before. Alright, so we almost have our lifestyle here, so I don't want to wait to spend any money until we get it, since I don't know how much it's going to cost us to get all these men-at-arms. Plenty in common. Life in close quarters tends to magnify in relationships good and bad. Unfortunately for Irina and Dietrich, their common interest in stoically standing their ground at any cost has proven to be a strong bonding agent. You two laughing and joking together at camp and riding alongside one another on the road is becoming an increasingly common sight. So we can encourage the friendship, try to break it apart, or just say good for them. I don't think we really care much. Yeah, we don't really care. We'll say good for them. We could do another mission while we wait to get that perk. Well, I don't want to do a mercenary one, as I'd stated before. We got another hired muscle one over here. This is a diplomacy scheme. I don't know how well we do at that, because we suck at diplomacy. I don't know how our companions are. It's just safer to do this one here, guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that while we wait. We'll travel on over here. Get one more mission complete before we raise up our men-at-arms and maybe get a few other things constructed, because we should have a good chunk of money now. If we succeeded this, we'll have like, what, 500 something? Alright, excellent. So we now have our martial perk. So it's going to get that. That will also reduce the cost of refilling the men-at-arms, which we'll need to do that since we're building these guys up much, much higher. So we have a size, possible size of 5. That's the reason why I wanted to save so much, because I expected this to be pretty expensive. So that gets us up to 500 men, guys. Now, we have not actually refilled the men, so we still got to do that. So again, very helpful that we just got that one perk to reduce the cost of this, using the provisions of cost 800 to get us up to the 500 dudes. So now we could actually really help out, because those are not just normal 500 men that you'd see, you know, in a war where a lot of them are levies. Those are all men in arms. And we also have a lot of bonuses. You know, the Landless characters, people say that they're kind of broken, a little overpowered because of how many bonuses they get for their troops. They become ridiculously powerful. Alright, so we completed that. We're at 174. I don't know if there's much that we could do here. I guess we could improve the barber's tent. Yeah, why not? That'll get us some additional passive income. We still need to improve our pavilion, and that'll allow us to get another men-at-arms regiment. And because we visited the capital here, we got 200 martial lifestyle points. So I'm moving right towards getting that next perk. Alright, fantastic. Let's go and visit the tribal holding here. I don't think we visited this location yet. So we do the diplomacy one again, which I guess we will. And that got us 100 diplomacy lifestyle experience. So you can see how after time you visit enough locations, you could start getting some extra perks for other trees. I want to see if there's anybody here worth recruiting. She's young enough to marry. Skills are so-so. The stewardship is not as helpful as some of the other ones when it comes to like schemes. Also, I don't know if we want to marry somebody who has both a different culture and a different religion. It would make sense to go back home for a little while and find ourselves a spouse. Because, yeah, we'd have really low opinion with her when you consider all of our other traits and stuff. Could be difficult to have a child. Could have a lot of, like, negative events as well. Could cause some issues. She's really old, so not going to work out. This guy's possessed, but he's also quite talented in many ways. He's 47, though. I mean, I don't really mind that he's possessed. How much does he cost? I mean, it's just the diplomacy and the learning. But that does open up other potential jobs. However, I do not want to pay him 49 gold. So, I'll have to find somebody else. It's not the best option. So I suppose we'll move north again. We'll go over here. It's going to cost us 440 of our provisions. Yeah, maybe go back home, guys. To see if we can't find ourselves a good Norse woman to marry. Didn't have any luck when we were there before, but we're getting older. 26 now. Need to start considering marriage. And she lost some stress. The easy life. So if there was any contracts nearby, we would complete those, but there's not. So let's now move across. I guess we'll go over to this location here. Since we haven't fully arrived, so we need to let it play couple days. I thought we were there. Clearly not. We got an event here, Evening Reflections. The same as we wrote this, the spawn crowned. Sometimes fate is far too cruel, letting a realm become such a cesspool. Oh, what a cruel fate destiny doles out, when such a tosspot wields such clout. I mean, it's better than I expected from Magnus. It's not terrible. So we can say a fine verse, what shall I muse on next? This will get us the poet trait, which is virtuous in our religion. Also gets us increased diplomacy based on our fame, increased prestige, just a bunch of bonuses. We can instead say writing is fun, but I don't know about rhyming. Not as good of a bonus. Or perhaps I'll have a bath port instead. I mean, poetry is a manly pursuit. Today we might not think so, or not everybody does, but back then it was. So yeah, we'll get that nice poet trait. That's helpful. Alright, so can we now move over here? We can. Could have done some of these contracts around here. They're all mercenary ones. I do want to do a mercenary contract, but that could take a while. And like I said, I really feel like we need to get ourselves a spouse. We'll see if there's anything in the area here. There's that instructor of knights. So we could do that mission, but before we do anything, let's go ahead and visit the tribal holding. Who knows? Maybe our wife is here. So we'll mingle with the locals, hear that story, and get that martial point. or get something for the marshal. Alright, so that's... You know what, I feel like this one doesn't work, the exotic marshal one. Because it doesn't give any bonus, like the other ones do. I noticed that before. Let's see if there's anybody worth recruiting. We could marry her. She's not that old. Or we got this character. So he's a scholar and a mystic. Very solid learning, but again, quite old. Somebody who's not as old. He's got decent prowess. He's really not a terrible character. I mean, not as great for the kind of contracts we often run into, but the prowess is still helpful. How much does he cost? He's 36 gold, and we really don't have much money. I didn't really think about how short our funds are at the moment. Really need to do another mission. And look to see if there's any other contracts. There's not. But this one will work out fine. So let's go ahead and move on over there. So let's go ahead and start getting those men trained. Only 3 options this time as well, so we'll have to do them all. Oh, I didn't realize that was still playing. So we'll train that guy first. Got an event here about fire and friends. That reminds me, one thing we need to do once we get a bit of money is to do some activities. We haven't done any yet. You can still do many of the ones that you can do as a landed character, you know, like visit universities to increase your education trait, your skill trait. You can do this camp revelry. This one gets better with one of the upgrades that we'll probably get for our camp. You can also hunt, so you can still do hunting, and that would be nice to get the bonus from. And you can do the pilgrimage. We certainly want to do the hunt so we can get the hunter trait. Each night, one fire becomes the hub of the camp's social activity. People coalescing around my inner circle to wag tongues and trade friendly barbs. Tonight is no exception. Look, all I'm saying, chortles Dietrich to the giggling of several other followers, is that poor author was very brave by coming and sitting next to the fire tonight. I'm looking forward to her visit next year already. A chorus of inebriated guffaws breaks out from the easily pleased onlookers, though it all seems to be wearing on author. So we can join in on making fun of her. Diplomacy challenge. We'll probably fail and be humiliated. Then we'll have to kill everybody. Or we can turn the tables on Dietrich. Even more likely to fail. Tell a joke of our own. I mean, we're just not. We just don't have any diplomacy. Although it's higher than it was. Because of that poet trait. Or we could just soak it all in and reduce some of the stress. I mean, we'd probably want to just join in. So even though we might be humiliated. Okay, well, we lost opinion with her because we stepped over the line. Okay, so we were not humiliated. She was humiliated. I see. Well, that's fitting for our character. He probably would go a bit too far with it. So with this character here, let's see what we want to do with him. We're probably just going to do the one that has the best chance of success. We can also recruit him. Probably not going to because he's just so-so. Might get better if he's no longer depressed. Yeah, not worth paying for. Let's just get this mission completed. So we'll do this option because it's 79% chance of success. And we did succeed. Excellent. So let's go ahead and do the next character. And he's old, so we wouldn't want to recruit him. So again, we'll go with this option. He can't keep up. Okay, so we gotta succeed at this one. I don't think we can do it perfectly now. 75% chance of success, and he did learn it. Alright, excellent. So we completed the contract, got a nice little payment, increased our prestige, and we've added him to our patrons as well. So now we need to return back home. We also got hooks on those characters from helping them out. I say back home, but you know, our temporary home. We completed the barber's tent, the second level of it, so now we have a higher passive income. So we're going to make a request from him. And before we ask for just the 35 gold, let's see if he has anybody to arrange a marriage with. Well, he has her. She's 24. Not really all that impressive when it comes to skills or traits. I feel like we can do better. This character here, again, just one really good skill, the stewardship. Prowess is okay, but she can't be a knight, so... I mean, maybe she could if she gets the sword maiden trait. It looks like there's only one other option. She's 26. She has fantastic intrigue. That's really what I want, is somebody with good intrigue. She's vengeful, paranoid, and deceitful, so such a lovely person. Probably the perfect spouse for Magnus, though. And you can see that she really likes us as well. Part of that's for the virtues. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to come back home. Because somebody of our own religion is going to appreciate Magnus's many virtues. She knows what a real man is. She's also got the gray eminence, but her diplomacy is garbage because of all these traits she has. Yeah, she's also got decent stewardship. Really, it's the intrigue that I like there. She's 26, so not like young. She's the same age as Magnus, though, and we might not find anybody better. I mean, I can kind of dip around and look, but you know, they gotta have a contract for us to even be able to arrange a marriage. I really feel like we can't be too picky here, guys, because you're probably not gonna find anybody better. I'm going here and see if there's... I got this sorted by age, so... Yeah, I really feel like she's the best option, guys. And he might not even accept a marriage anyways. He would. Okay, so let's go and make that request. This is going to be for us and for her. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Is that like a... Is that Hora? It's kind of a weird letter there. That can't be what it is. Let me know how to pronounce that, because it's our wife, so we should obviously know what her name is, how to pronounce it. We're going to lose prestige, but that's fine. Alright, so we are now married. Excellent. So we have a spouse. So hopefully we can get some children out of this, because, you know, we're getting older. And we need to give them time to come of age so that they can take over the company after us. And Magnus just needs a little bit more in his life. And he needs a lady as well. A little bit of a female companionship. Alright, so we built up our army. We have 500 men-at-arms, 3 champions, and so now we could help out a lot more in the Stand With Us missions. Maybe we'll do that one right there since it's nearby. But that'll have to be in the next episode, unfortunately, because this one is over. I wanted to get us married, and I wanted to get the men-at-arms built up, and there's not really much we can buy at our camp anymore either, because all these get far more expensive. So, I mean, we have enough, but it'd leave us very broke. But these ones are going to be 180. To get the next level, and then upgrading the pavilion will cost us 200, which we're still on the first level. It'd be useful to do this so we can get an additional men-at-arms regiment. So that's probably what our next upgrade is going to be once we have the money. But yeah, we're going to start doing some mercenary contract missions. Hopefully they go well. I don't expect they will, given how everything else has gone in this campaign. It'll be disastrous. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.